Hi friends, my name is Dr. Kristal Walker. I'm the principal consultant and founder of 3C's Training Group, based in Los Angeles, California. It was a random Monday morning in Southern California. I walked into my boss's office and we were prepared for our regular weekly touch base meeting, and our meeting was actually delayed because she was finishing up an enterprise-wide communication announcing the sudden passing of one of my 40-plus-year-old coworkers who had made her transition over the weekend. This news, as you can imagine, was a little bit frightening for me for two reasons. One, I had just celebrated my 40th birthday, so as you can imagine, I was a little spooked and terrified and wondering how could such happen to someone who was so young. The second reason is because I was contemplating on whether or not I should finish up or actually attend a doctor's appointment that was scheduled for that afternoon. I don't think that it took much for me to make my decision in terms of whether or not I should keep my appointment, so I did. I told my boss that I would finish up my assignments and that I would wrap up my day roughly around noontime so that I can attend my doctor's appointment. Got to my doctor with excitement, and of course this was just a regular check-in. And he asked me what I did for a living. I told him that I was a director of organizational development for a large $2 billion music retail company. I had a lot of responsibility on my plate, responsible for leadership development, diversity and inclusion, enterprise employee engagement, performance management, and really everything that has to do with people development. And after simply taking my vital signs, he says, "Ms. Walker, it sounds like the work that you do is very interesting and that many people benefit from what you do." He said, "But I'm afraid I have some bad news for you." He said, "I have to take you off work for at least 2 weeks because your blood pressure is at pre-stroke levels." Of course, this isn't the news that I wanted to hear, but it was news that was worth paying attention to. So I notified my boss that I was going to need the time off, and she wasn't very happy about the news, but at this point, it was about my health. And so I started to think about this situation. I started to think about what I was being invited into. I think that nothing happens by happenstance, and that this was a perfect opportunity for me to really recollect my thoughts, think about really what I wanted to do, and also consider what was extremely important for me. And so I started to think about my role as a leader and what were some of the best practices that perhaps I may have missed along the way. And so my job today is to share with you 4 basic strategies that will hopefully prepare you for a leadership role as a first-time leader, or even if you're a very seasoned leader who need to reevaluate what's mostly important to you in your lives. The first strategy is leverage. You have to be able to leverage the skills of your team. We have teams, and if you're fortunate enough to be a leader with a working team, then you have to learn how to utilize both their soft skills as well as their technical skills. Most leaders aren't fortunate enough to have a team. So when you have a team, you want to make sure that you leverage their skills accordingly. At the end of the day, you have to understand that you can't do it all. We are a limited resource as human beings, and so our energy, our purpose should be preserved for those areas in which we're mostly qualified to do. The second strategy I want to leave with you today is empowerment. So once you leverage the skills and the unique findings and happenings of your team members, it's important that you empower them along the way. They need to know that you give them permission to go forth, right? It's nothing worse than working and you have responsibility without authority. Once you empower your team, you also may want to affirm their ability. And this can be quite interesting because sometimes as leaders, we may find it tedious to always have to validate one's specialty, right? We feel like our people are given to us, they have certain skills that they operate within, and we shouldn't have to go and validate any insecurity that they may have. But I'll tell you, when you begin to embark on new territory, then everyone needs to be validated at some point, and that's where affirmation comes in our role as leaders. And then finally, once you've leveraged their abilities, once you've empowered them to go forth, once you've affirmed that they're doing the right thing for the right reasons at the right time, then you empower them to move forth and deliver on your expectations and with confidence. So if I can leave you with anything today, and if you were paying attention to the acronym that I introduced in this strategy, it is to lead. Leverage the resources that you have available to you. Empower your team to move forward. Affirm that they're doing the right thing so that they can deliver with confidence. My name is Dr. Kristal Walker, and thank you for this opportunity.